Hello there, you're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS English News at 5. Let us begin with some top stories for today. The contractor building of the 98.5 million ringgit Batang Rambungan Bridge has been told to solve its cash flow and workers' problem as soon as possible. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahamba, said the project completion is now almost 3 years delayed, inclusive of the 2 years when its construction was halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The project is supposed to be completed by 16 December this year, but has since been revised to 23rd June next year. He warned the contractor will be subjected to stiff penalty for non-compliance of the completion schedule. At present, the bridge is at 45.52% completion as opposed to the scheduled 82.96% completion. To this, Ugas said the contractor's catch-up plan is crucial as the Works Department has projected it to be completed by the third quarter of 2024. He said the contractor will not be allowed to carry on if there were enough evidence to indicate it could not do so. The 560-meter long two-lane single-carriage bridge is carried by the Precious Credence JV Kejuba Sendirian Berhad, a joint ventureship between a local and a Chinese company. It also forms part of the Sarawak Coastal Road Project. He warned the contractor will be subjected to stiff penalty for non-compliance of the completion schedule. At present, the bridge is at 45.52% completion as opposed to the scheduled 82.96% completion. To this, Ugas said the contractor's catch-up plan is crucial as the Works Department has projected it to be completed by the third quarter of 2024. He said the contractor will not be allowed to carry on if there were enough evidence to indicate it could not do so. The 560-meter long two-lane single-carriage bridge is carried by the Precious Credence JV Kejuba Sendirian Berhad, a joint ventureship between a local and a Chinese company. It also forms part of the Sarawak Coastal Road Project. More than 26 local and international artists convened in Kuching for the inaugural Sarawak International Art Camp 2022, held from 5th to 9 December. Organized by Sarawak Artists Society SAS and supported by the State Ministry of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, the art camp will see the artists taking residence at ANNAH RAIS Longhouse from 6 to 8 December to get inspiration from the local community and culture for their artwork.
Its Deputy Minister, Dato' Snodan Lawan, said the event aims to provide an opportunity for both international and Sarawakan artists to engage, network, and encourage artistic exchanges to spark the momentum of the creative industry impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our ministry, which is Ministry of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, has always encouraged and supported events of such scale and with international liaison. They indirectly stimulate the socio-economic industries and communities in Sarawak.
He said this at the welcoming dinner with the participants on Monday. The participants include artists from Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, Germany, as well as Malaysia. Snowden added Sarawak has much to present to the world through its rich cultures and traditions, which are depicted in its arts and handicrafts. Meanwhile, its President David Chiu hopes that this event can prove that artists and their creations can play a part in promoting Sarawak, its culture, and contribute to the tourism industry. The creations will be on display at the annual art show from 9 December 2022 until 8 January 2023 at La Promenade Mall in Kuching.
The Sarawak government has high regard for the textile industry as it has a lot of potential to contribute to the development of the country's economy and livelihood. Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, said the Sarawak handicraft industry reached 15.7 million ringgit in sales, which was achieved through the tireless efforts of the 687 members of the Sarawakian crafts community in 2021.
Our government has high regard for the textile industry. It has a lot of potential to contribute to the development of our country's economy and livelihood. Hence, we have recognized traditional craft as one of the major players in our economic strategy, with a special focus on local textile, such as the Sarawak Songket and Garukan.
He said this in his welcoming speech at the launching ceremony of Lembaran ANWAR Series 2 Borneo Textile Symposium 2022 on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Abdul Karim said it is especially important that the development of local talents today be made the focal point in sustaining the textiles community.
It is especially important that the development of local talents today be made the focal point sustaining our textile community. With the support of different agencies in textile, in training textile-related skills among the local talents, as well as a harmonious ecosystem, Sarawak can and will be, inshallah, an exemplary creative hub for our textile heritage.
On the symposium, Abdul Karim said it was inspired by the ASEAN Textile Symposium held in Putrajaya last September. He said that during the ASEAN Textile Symposium, there were many insights gained from the experts and speakers who have been in the textile world for many years. The launching ceremony was graced by the presence of the Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria, who is the patron of the symposium. Among those present were Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggitan Sri Apang Joharitun Openg's wife, Datuk Amar Jumani Tuanku Bujang, Deputy Premier Datuk Amar Douglas Ugah Embas's wife, Datin Amar Dorin Mayang, and Deputy Premier Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian's wife, Datin Sri N. Ong.
Jumaat ini, 4 finalis akan berentak.
Awak sebenarnya ada bakat yang tersendiri dan ada bakat yang hebat yang saya dapat lihat.
Alhamdulillah. Saya sangat terhibur dengan persembahan awak.
Mami suka awak punya tone. Dia lain daripada yang lain.
Terima kasih.
Kita tak ada tone ni kat Malaysia. Belum ada lagi.
Nantikan persaingan sengit di antara Santiana, Amin, dan Afif. Arif dalam pentas akhir Getaran Jiwa, Jumaat 9 Disember 8.45 malam, hanya di TVS.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today cautioned Perikatan Nasional PN Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin against challenging his government regarding the issue of 600 billion ringgit funds that were allegedly misappropriated by the government under the latest administration. The Prime Minister said that based on the information obtained, there were some processes and procedures that were not followed by the PN government. He added there were companies with interests involving the families involved.
Jadi saya ingin jelaskan, bukan maksud saya seperti mana saya nak tumpu perhatian mengurus negara ini, memacu pertumbuhan ekonomi dan memberi kebajikan kepada rakyat. Tapi sebaik di Sabah, kita terpaksa melihat
He said this in his first press conference as finance minister. Yesterday, Muhyiddin told a media conference after delivering a speech at the PN Grand Finale talk that Anwar should investigate the matter pertaining to the 600 billion ringgit fund before making any statements. Anwar, who is Pakatan Harapan PH chairman, questioned Muhyiddin on his statement when he was prime minister, claiming that it was misleading. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today ordered a review of 7 billion ringgit worth approval under the 15 billion ringgit flood mitigation project. According to him, this is because the project was conducted through direct negotiation instead of a tender process.
Anwar said the government will not proceed with the allocation as approved and will do a review to ensure transparency and that regulations are followed.
Jumlah ini bukan kecil atas alasan umpamanya membantu menyegerakan untuk langkah tebatan banjir, tetapi ada masalah bila peraturan tidak dipatuhi dan ada upaya umpamanya untuk mencari kesempatan, dan ini amat dikesalkan. Dan saya berterima kasih kerana pegawai kanan kementerian bersama, kerana mereka juga tidak selari dengan masuk ini, tapi pada ketika itu hanya mengikut arahan.
Anwar, who is also finance minister, said this in a press conference following a briefing at the finance ministry MOF in Putrajaya today. Meanwhile, Anwar said he was briefed by senior MOF officials on several issues to be prioritized in view of the parliament sitting schedule for December 19th and 20th. He said the unity government will focus on providing a fresh and positive climate to encourage investments, restore confidence, and drive the nation's economic growth.
Improvement of public transport, especially the digitalization of services, is among the key agenda that the new Transport Ministry will focus on. Its Minister, Anthony Loke, said this is to enhance the delivery service in a more efficient manner.
That is just a general agenda that I mentioned. And of course, that is something that we are always looking at. Even during my previous stint in the MOT, I was trying to push for more digitalization in terms of our services, in terms of the delivery to the public. And we try to cut down the queues in our departments so that services can be rendered, can be given to the public through the digital platform, and things that can be done over digital. Why not? So these are the things that we are looking at.
He said this to reporters after clocking into his office to begin work as Transport Minister. He said the digitalization of services, such as the Road Transport Department JPJ EBIT system, had been started when he helmed the portfolio before. Additionally, he said ongoing projects, including the East Coast Rail Link Project ECRL, would continue. Indonesia's parliament approved a criminal code on Tuesday that bans sex outside marriage with a punishment of up to 1 year in jail. This is part of a raft of legal changes that critics say undermine civil liberties in the world's third largest democracy.
The new code, which will apply to Indonesians and foreigners alike, will also prohibit cohabitation between unmarried couples. It was passed with support from all political parties and despite warnings from business groups that it could scare away tourists and harm investment. However, the code will not come into effect for 3 years to allow for implementing regulations to be drafted. Currently, Indonesia bans adultery but not premarital sex. The laws also includes bans on black magic, insulting the president or state institutions, spreading views counter to state ideology, and staging protests without notification. Critics say the new laws can be used to police morality in the world's largest Muslim-majority nation, which has seen a rise in religious conservatism in recent years. The public response to the new code has been muted so far, with only small protests held in the capital on Monday.
That's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching.